to do that.
I have 6:30, so we can dispense with that discussion.
Back to the sports discussion.
We'll leave that one alone.
You missed our Ohio State.
So we'll call this work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia to order. It's November 25th, 2019. We've got a quorum. The regular business meeting. We've got an invocation.
Do we have people?
Yes, Reverend Allison Perlee from Westminster. Do you need somebody
It's a
for
regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody for the pledge? Anyone want to volunteer?
I was bumped last week by the
Yeah.
Cub Scouts, so I will.
That's right.
I will resume my
Another
duty.
opportunity. You do know to face the flag, right?
They, took them a while, but they
Took them a while,
Yeah,
they
they
figured
got
it out.
They got there.
Just remember, you're our second choice.
Yeah. Hey, I'll stand down for the Cub Scouts.
And then we have just we've got a proclamation for hospice month. We've got minutes, some reports. We've got the second reading on the text amendment for the billboard conversion. So Chuck's gonna explain that.
Let me do that now? Okay.
Well, I don't know that, well, yeah, you got that changed. Go ahead.
Pass those down. Pass those down.
If I'm allowed to touch them.
Go ahead and touch.
Yeah, please, don't give me any germs.
So there's actually two things that I've attached here. The first part is actually the development agreement, which is essentially a settlement agreement. And attached to the back of that, Exhibit D, is a copy of the ordinance that will be second read tonight. It's essentially the same that you all have looked at. The only changes really to it is the language throughout both the development agreement and the ordinance has been changed from the wording of electronic message board to electronic billboard. And electronic billboard has been defined in the document now to use the original language of the electronic message board, but then to also add that it has to be more than 300 square feet in size, which is larger than the maximum electronic message board, and also that it has to be installed on a conversion structure. And the reason for that change is our existing electronic message boards, the ordinance provides for them to change only every 15 minutes. And we didn't want there to be some confusion between that and the billboards, which are going to change every 10 minutes.
10 seconds.
10
10 seconds, excuse me, 10 seconds. And I looked at some of the other municipalities. Forsyth County, they actually require 20 minutes on their electronic message boards between changes, but 10 seconds on their billboards. So it just has established a different type of sign for a different type of usage, but we didn't want any confusion there, so that's why that wording changed. Other than that, everything else stayed the same. And, again, the only thing that we are changing is this only affects the billboards that are being converted. So we're not putting up new billboards, there's no provisions for new billboards, anything like that.
In fact, there's a space restriction in it
That's
that's
correct.
geared to the existing board so that we're finished with billboards.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm asking a stupid question, but an electronic message board, is that like something a business would have in their window or?
It's actually under
And there's-
it includes the canopy signs at gas stations,
Oh,
includes the time and temperature signs, it includes the,
Like Walgreens, I know Walgreens has they're the electronic signs that instead of having to go and put the letters out, they have
Okay,
the
I
electronic
gotcha,
signs.
I gotcha. Okay,
Snellville Middle has one.
right,
Well,
right.
so does South Gwinnett,
Yeah.
yeah. the schools.
Okay, now I just was trying to
Yeah.
envision what an electronic message sign was.
I think this is a good change, just to make sure that it's
Right.
clear as to what we're
Right.
talking about.
okay.
Okay. So this is on for a second reading and final
For
vote.
adoption.
Then we have the first read on the hotel changes. So we'll be waiving the first reading. The next meeting is December the 9th. Then under new business, we've got a first reading on the ordinance for booting. Anybody had any questions on that? That's just a first read, so we've got till December 9th then to make any adjustments to that. Butch did report that they've been getting about 2 complaints a week from people over there.
Surprised it's that few.
Yeah. Then we are doing, item B is one more extension on the moratorium for the extended stays. The current moratorium expires on November 29th. We're having our first read tonight, so the second read won't be till December 9th.
And when are we extending it to?
December 29th,
December.
just 30 days.
Is 30 days gonna
30
be
days.
enough?
It
We
is,
think.
unless y'all hold up on passing it the next time.
Because we're waiving this meeting.
Okay.
We're waiving it tonight. We should be on schedule to do the second reading on
On the 9th.
December 9th.
Okay.
And we've been final with
Intent.
the actual
Yeah, yeah.
extended stay hotel ordinance for a long time. There haven't been any changes to it.
Yeah.
So it's in the same form it was when you really took a close look at it.
Somehow I was eliminating the entire month of December and thinking January was our next meeting. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no, we do have one meeting. in
That's
December.
right, we do.
So if we failed to act on it December 9th, we'd have to extend it again.
Okay.
But we should be good there. And then we have just approval on a contract if you also choose for Temple Beth David to use the town green on the 22nd. So that's all we have on the regular meeting. Any questions or anything? Roger's last meeting?
Nope, no question.
No questions. Okay. Any correspondence? City attorney's report?
We need an executive session, but it needs to be an extended one for settlement negotiations and litigation matters. So we invited them to come after the regular meeting so that we don't need
I
to.
hate you.
It's usually me that complains about that.
Well, what
I'm off this week.
we didn't know how much time we would have and don't want to stop in the middle for the meeting. So I asked Tony if we could do it, just have them be here by 8:15.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be done by the meeting, with the meeting by then. Be able to get in here and
Hash it out.
hash it out, get something agreed to. Okay, ongoing projects?
Town center, we have almost daily conversations with somebody with Midcast and somebody with the United States Postal Service. I'd say we're making good progress with Midcast. We should have the next iteration of the landscape architecture and grounds design. I think, Eric, you said the middle of December from Smallwood. Worked with them closely on the zoning application. It was submitted last week. It's in line for the December Planning Commission. You know, I also gave you a copy of a nice Atlanta Business Chronicle article that they followed the zoning application. It's nice to have regular updates from the private sector, and that's good publicity for us.
First, just as a comment, those are new renderings in that article, and I've requested they send us copies of them, so we don't have those renderings yet, but we
Did I
will.
get that one? And speaking of ads, the next, down at City Marketing, Brian's working closely with Intrepid, working on an ad campaign for the upcoming months, as well as, we had a very successful, logo search contest in the latest, Spirit magazine.
Yeah.
Had a lot of participants looking for the Grove logo. And, it's little things like that, you don't think much about it, but it gets it out there, it gets people thinking about what's going on and what's gonna happen, and just the name, the Grove. So you kind of have to do that to establish a foundation, then when you open, better chance it's gonna be more successful. So little things like that, it does make a difference.
So, any update on the post office on when we're gonna get next step?
No, we have been,
Because we're at
we got
Thanksgiving, I'm
a,
afraid we're gonna
we got the,
lose our timeline.
we got, we got a USPS, package the other day. And basically, they're stating they have to do it publicly, notify the chief elected official, it was to you, Barbara, basically saying, we are following through with moving from this location to a new location. And, but we don't have specific numbers yet. The appraisals should be done, and we know the engineering and architectural work is done. We just don't have the numbers from them yet. So, as soon as we get them, you'll know.
And they have collected the data for their environmental review, so that's, all the data is done, they just gotta do the writing of it.
The UDO, Caleb has missed a few days. He's been out sick, but we should have the draft back next week after Thanksgiving, for our review, and then we'll talk about how we get to adoption then. Roundabout construction, we met with the Snells the other day. I followed up with the roundabout. They said they'll have more work being done next week. You'll notice more construction work out there now that most of the utilities have a lot of the utility work's been done. 78 and 124. The total completion date is now the end of the year, 12/31. You probably noticed a lot of paving, some striping, several smaller things, but important. We did avoid having to place a new pole out on Oak. We got approval from DOT, which is never easy to put an extra sign on the existing pole. And we convinced them every bit of the striping out there is going to be thermoplastic. It'll last longer, it'll be more visible. I don't know, driving through there at night, there are a lot of medians. I mean, you're kind of moving from you got a through lane here, you've got a turn lane here, and so those will be, at the end of those medians, they won't be painted, but they'll be cross hatching there, which will give you some warning that there's an obstacle
You're about
there.
to hit a curb.
So it is and he said that almost all the lighting's done. A lift truck was supposed to be working on our other tower. We've always had one lit up. The other one has not been. They had a lift truck coming today to work on that, so we'll have to drive by there afterwards to see. But they both should be lighted now. So
I made the turn coming south on 124 and turned left onto 78. You know that one lady that had the issue?
Her name was Barbara Bender.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't get the ticket. But that is a very scary turn to make, and I made it during the day. Because, so I know there's the guide thing, that needs to be very distinct. Because I sat there and watched. I had the benefit of getting stuck at the red light. So I got to watch a whole sequence because I was watching where the cars were going to go to Loganville. Because your brain's telling you it's around that median, which is the turn lane. Not in all of those lanes that are all one. So I knew what I was doing, and it was a little scary. So we need to.
Yeah, we've seen
these
people
are just temporary striping.
turn into the
Yeah.
lane that's gonna be turning south on one
Well,
twenty-one.
I'm telling
If
you,
you go to the
when you're
farm-
going to make that turn, it's hard to figure out a little
Well,
bit where you're
especially
supposed to
if
be.
it's somebody that doesn't frequently go through the intersection.
Mhm.
And it narrows considerably coming north on 124 through the intersection. It narrows down because where the medians end up, so
Sticking out,
it's
yeah.
an uncomfortable intersection all the way around. Butch, one thing that someone brought to my attention is coming north on Clower to 78, the two right-hand turn lanes, because the lights are back over on Oak, people are ignoring the fact that they have a light, there's not a yield sign there currently, and they're just blowing through it.
Okay.
And.
So you're talking about by the First Baptist
That's
Church?
right over
By the
here.
first-
Okay.
Between the two churches.
So they need to at least get a temporary yield
Yeah,
sign.
and I do not understand, back 30 years ago, when they did the intersection of Peachtree Industrial and Jimmy Carter Boulevard, they were able to put little LED lights in the pavement, so when the light turned green, the little lights came on and said, "Hey, everybody, green, let's follow the green lights." Or there were red lights that also said, "Hey, everybody, don't go over here." We've got the most complex intersection that has been known to Southern people ever. And I'm trying
Don't
to-
stereotype us. now.
No,
Don't
no,
stereotype us.
no. And all we've got is some signs and some thermoplast going down on the pavement. I think that's very short-sighted, and I think we're gonna regret that.
Well, you know, I'm hoping that education process takes place, but,
Well, you're still gonna have folks moving through the intersection every day that have never been through it before and may never go through it again, because they may not survive it. But, it's just a matter of, yeah, it's great that all the locals will get attuned to it, but we're still gonna have people approaching the intersection who've never seen it before. They're gonna be like, what the heck is going on? We've got folks still coming out of Provino's Plaza or whatever it's called, and cutting through the crossover for the
Left turn.
displaced left turn, and they're cutting through there to get over to
You gotta be
eastbound.
kidding me.
No, heck no, no. And then you also have people who are coming eastbound, making a U-turn there.
It gets too hard, I go
So
the other way.
it's,
yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
avoid it
we
like
aren't
the
gonna be able to
plague.
stop people like can't fix stupid, but, but
LED
the
lights
other.
do a lot,
Barbara's
though.
stupid.
Traffic tickets fix stupid.
Yeah, well,
I wound up in the right lane, I'm just saying it was a little disorienting.
all I can say is, I'm pretty sure that next year, we will be able to be on Fox 5's, the cities who make the most of their budget off of tickets just from that one intersection.
They only care about I hope speed, not. they don't care.
Okay, all right. Idiot awards don't count? Okay, good.
Okay, so where were we?
I will pass that. I'll talk to some of the DOT safety ops folks.
Thank you.
Let's see. SDS negotiations, Police Cities met with GMA regarding the approval of a potential PSAP for our current communications. Those discussions are still ongoing. Very positive meeting with GMA. We have more to go. 2017 SPLOS program. We are really pushing Jimmy Whitaker to have the audit done. And really that'll be the next key date that will provide an official update on where our funding stands. Ordinance development, booting is an extended stay tonight, and I think that's one of the subjects of our executive session.
Okay. Discussion about the booting ordinance. Does anybody have anything else you wanted to discuss on that? Okay. Short discussion. Move on to item C, street names.
Oh.
Do you have that stuff with you, Dave, that we discussed before?
If I can find it.
Yeah,
Basically, what was the long street, I thought naming the shortest street we have after the city's founder was incorrect. So if we name the long street, which was, is that A or C? The one closest to the police station goes all the way through?
I think that,
It goes south to north,
It goes from Oak to Wisteria.
okay, okay.
I thought that should be Snell Street. If we're gonna have a Snell Street, it should be the longer street there. Move Sawyer Street to where Snell Street was, the entrance into the library, and then put
There,
granite.
that'll help.
And then, a comment I would make, Dave, we haven't talked about it much, that there are a Snell and a Sawyer roads at the park, and there was some comment about that might cause some confusion, so you'll see in this diagram that Snell and Sawyer were moved to both plazas, so that we don't have another road named Snell and Sawyer.
That really should not be an issue, since the only thing over on the park property is, what? One office on Sawyer Parkway.
Unless somebody calls in something that happens on it somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, like the one at the park is Sawyer Parkway. So if we named it Sawyer
Place?
Street, Sawyer Place, another,
Well, you wouldn't want it with a P if it was,
Sawyer Way?
yeah, Sawyer Way, Sawyer Walk, Sawyer,
okay, now which one are you talking about to be Sawyer?
Over at Merchants.
no,
Yeah.
Sawyer would be
Founders.
everybody's.
the one
Everybody's
that's marked
plaza.
Founder's Way here.
I think everybody's plaza should be Sawyer, whatever. Founder's Way should be Snell Way. Merchants Walk I don't see because we don't have any merchants. Yeah, the promenade would work. And then Sawyer Plaza, I thought should be Granite Plaza or Granite Place. And we could use granite there and put people's names on it who we want to recognize.
Right, because that whole long list of notable people from Snellville and surrounding areas, we would be able to engrave their names on granite block and either place them, I don't know that placing them on the walk would be good, but
Somewhere.
somewhere so they can be recognized. So we're able to get as inclusive as we want. We're not tied into having to come up with that list until sometime in the not too distant future, not tonight anyway. And it gives the flexibility to include pretty much
Whoever.
anybody that,
Because we only have basically one street, and if you name it after somebody, everybody else is gonna be upset. Well, why didn't you name it after my uncle, my father, my whatever? I just think it's a bad move to have only one name.
So Founders become Snell, does everybody's become Sawyer?
Yes,
yep,
and Sawyer becomes Granite.
Sawyer Plaza becomes Granite.
Well, then you're back to a comment that was made of you're giving one of the founders the short street and one of the founders the
No,
long street.
well, but it's not Sawyerville, it's Snellville.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you
Well,
what a comment was made.
I know.
That was one we-
Do you have anything for
Founders.
Snell Plaza?
Actually, we hadn't named that at all because since it's not a street, it doesn't have to be named at this point.
Right.
And so that can be done in conjunction with the opening of the mercantile or market or whatever it is. I would say that Merchants Walk maybe becomes Promised Land Promenade or something like that because it's a walkway more than anything else. And
What do you think? I always thought since it's led to the Grove, it leads to the Grove, how about Grove Way?
yeah,
Or something like
yeah.
that?
Grove Walk or
Yeah.
that was one of my initial thoughts, but
So now we're talking about growth.
and not only that, but it would clear up how do you get there? Well, go down
Get on
this.
Grove Way, or Grove Lane, I think sounds better. Just has a better ring to it.
So we said Sawyer Way, is that what we said, Sawyer?
Yeah.
Sawyer Way,
And Snell, what?
Plaza,
No,
like
That's a
Snell
street.
Place,
Snell Street, is that what you said, what we
yeah,
said?
I think,
Snell, what,
let me do a Google search real quick, see what we already have.
synonym.
You know, a lot of places use a first and last name, so we had Thomas Snell anything. There isn't a Thomas Snell anywhere.
That's true.
You know, you got Hugh Howell. So it's not like it's anything new, using both names.
And
Yeah, there's no Snell that comes up that is gonna create a problem.
if it's a problem
Snell
with
Street.
Sawyer, the Sawyer Parkway at the park, we could,
Let's call
James
it
Sawyer.
Thomas Snell Street, or Thomas Snell Road, or Way.
Thomas Snell, yeah, Thomas
Way.
Snell Way and James Sawyer Way.
There you go.
Thomas
Sounds good.
Snell Way and James Sawyer Way. And that makes it very distinct from the Sawyer Parkway in the park.
Yep.
But isn't that TW something?
No, it's T.W. Briscoe.
T.W. Briscoe
Briscoe.
Park, but there's a Sawyer Parkway,
Yeah.
that's where the park office is located.
And then we've got the Grove Walk, or Grove, I like Grove Walk.
I like Grove Walk better than Way.
How about Grove Walkway?
No. 'Cause it's not all a walkway, some of it's a roadway.
I feel like it needs to be a bridge then.
Well, especially since it is a walkway.
Well,
there you go.
Part of it
You know.
is, and then
Yeah.
part of it is Street G.
Street.
And then we can debate later whether or not to call the drive going down to City Hall the same name. I would think that would make sense,
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
call it all the same.
Yep.
but,
Then we can drop Overholzer Way.
but he's still getting his statue, right?
I missed all that history.
Yeah. It's a good thing too.
Yeah, you're
just let's
fortunate.
not remove it. Okay. So what was, the Sawyer Plaza here is what?
Granite Plaza. Or Granite Place, whatever anybody likes.
Just decide.
Eric, don't you think the county would be amenable to a granite wall there? On the side of the library?
Since we get to help control the architect, I think we could, yeah,
Yeah,
or something
I
like
mean, I
that.
think that would be,
You're talking about the side of the building, right? Yeah.
Even if it's only like the bottom 8 feet or whatever, because above that, it's not gonna matter a whole lot.
I mean, we'll help design the building, so we
Yep.
can encourage that in the design, yeah. I can relay that information to Bill.
And then hopefully that will give the Historic Society the ability to put informational stuff in there, whether it's on a kiosk or elsewhere, so you can maybe interact with the history of who those people are and what those names mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where they just have little signs where you can
Yeah.
open,
Right.
you know, this is where such and such happened or whatever.
Nothing happened
but you know, if you look at the walkway from the parking deck over to the entrance of the library, that seems like a pretty important area to put one of our digital boards.
Right.
Digital information boards there.
And then
You could have information on the wall.
Yeah, you could have a screen that is, maybe not that it'd be like a really fun game, but
Yeah.
search for this and that and who they are and.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just let it roll when nobody's
Right.
there, where you can roll through historical facts and then you hit a button and it
But
stops.
it definitely gives the Historic Society something to curate and build upon and,
Yeah.
Okay. Got it?
Are we decided?
I think so.
So we have Granite Plaza, Grove Walk, James Sawyer Way, Thomas Snell Way. There's,
And to be determined.
Yeah, and the,
Rather than this, between the library and the American
yeah,
Institute.
which, depending on how the design works out, may or may not want to be broken into little cubbies from what we discussed with the landscape architect anyway. So it may feel like separate little spaces rather than a continuous, so you may not want a common name. Access Street B always.
Not to belabor the conversation too long, but what is any of those names culturally relevant today, or trying to bring these names into the future? That's what I thought the suggestion was. I think it was the appeals board of Everybody's Way. That brought a sense of more of our slogan in, and it brought a sense of more of the current, what can be more of a current name than just a historical name.
The only thing I will say is, when I brought that up with people, I got a lot of pushback, so.
Okay.
Or
And I'm not
proud
saying pushing
or-
for Everybody's Way, I'm just
Yeah.
saying something that is more current and relevant and looking forward.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have granite in the future, so we don't have to cover.
Well, could that area that's labeled Snell Plaza, could that be?
Well, and remember too,
Everybody's
that
plaza.
these aren't gonna be the only roads to be created
Ever.
in the town center as we go.
Right, and not only that, but that is future, because we're gonna name those, that one area sometime in the future, so, there you go.
All right?
Which area, the
The
Snell
Snell
Plaza?
Plaza,
Yeah, I mean, that could be where everybody's somebody plaza.
Or we could call it somebody place, so if you wanna be somebody, you just
And
go
you
there.
could say, here I am.
There's your place.
Yeah. That's-
There's your place to
This
be
is me.
somebody.
You are here.
Hmm? Okay. Good deal. Okay, I have nothing else on the work session agenda. Again, we will do exec session that will call in the meeting. That hopefully will start at 8:15. With that, is there a motion to adjourn the work session?
Motion to adjourn the work session.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
I didn't realize I would have brought some papers to bring.
You don't have any papers, you're
I
out.
brought, no, I have tons, but no.